Advancement in technology is very rapid and it is continuously transforming the world and human life. We need to upgrade our knowledge more frequently to help us progress professionally. International Technology Business Conference 2021 is bringing exciting discussions of experts and leaders in specialized areas of technologies of AI, automation, software, business processes, cybersecurity, health, infrastructure development, human growth, and learning future job skills. Welcome to join us.
Many congratulations to Team International Technology and Business Conference 2021 for providing a nice platform to discuss technology and business. Innovative technologies in the fourth industrial revolutions are transforming trade by making the processes more inclusive and efficient. The pandemic has also highlighted the importance of a robust digital economy. Various stakeholders, including commercial solutions providers, academic research groups, standard bodies, end user, have all greatly benefited from the far-reaching changes led by the most recent 5G developments. So according to GSMA, the connectivity gap is closing. Over the next 6 years from now, 663 million people across only in Asia Pacific will start using mobile internet for the first time, bringing a total number of mobile internet users in the region to around 2.7 billion by 2025. So this growth in connectivity is helping the mobile industry increase its impact across all the UN's Sustainable Development Goal and spurring adoption of mobile-based tools and solutions in agriculture, education, and healthcare.
Advancement in technology is very rapid and it is continuously transforming the world and human life. We need to upgrade our knowledge more frequently to help us progress professionally.
Today, I, Mujahid Amjad, welcome you all on the behalf of International Technology and Business Conference 21.
Listen some discussions of our experts and interesting interactive question-answer sessions.
We need people who are actually working on it and trying to bridge that gap. I am right now, I want this session to be more open rather than I'm just, talking to my screen. I would like to ask you if you have, if anyone has any experience with fintech, because I wanted it to be in sort of a dialogue. I'm missing that dialogue in the field, with the people in tech about the fintech and their experiences and the issues. That we don't have that knowledge resource, in a sense that human resources trained in fintech who has a good knowledge or in the background of the both aspects, the tech and the fin, because these systems are not very straightforward systems. These are not holistic website development that we used to do like 20 years ago. These systems are sophisticated systems. So opportunities need to be created by taking chances rather than staying hesitant of it.
Yes, ma'am, this is Rehan. I am currently working in an IT company which is providing services to different fintechs as well as financial institutions. So today they gave me a chance to give my input regarding this blockchain and the fintech industry as well. Fortunately, I had the chance to work with all the fintechs or mobile wallets which are currently working in Pakistan, and almost 18 to 19 banks to which we are providing different services. So, coming back to to your question, like what type of challenges we face during when we are going with the solution in the market.
There is another important question from a participant. So the person asked that there are multiple blockchain technologies out there. If you pick up the most popular ones, including the blockchain technology used by Bitcoin, you will find a lot of inefficiencies within the system. So this is one of the big disadvantages of blockchain.
Assalamualaikum. So basically, I recently graduated from JIK and I was obliged to get an elective blockchain in my last year. So there we like overviewed the blockchain and we got to know something about Ethereum currency and all. So Ethereum involves these smart contract systems. So the first question is this smart contracts are the part of fintech technology?
Sure.
Namaste, you can ask the question.
Assalamu alaikum, sir. My question would be that, as we know, the blockchain is not a distributed computer system. It has some issues, scalability, consumes too much power, data is immutable, and has some privacy issues as well. How do you think that would actually affect blockchain projects in the future, considering Honeybee, Google, and BMW, etc., use these blockchains, and how do you think would affect them in the future?
Again, if we take the same example, you want to launch a web service, but you don't want to launch it on an exact machine. You can take an environment of, for example, you take IIS server of Microsoft or a Linux server, and you take some SQL server on it, and then you build your own web services on those servers. So you are taking a platform which is built as per your requirement. Whatever you will ask that I need these services in this platform, and then this platform should be used for you. So you will not be your control on the exact hardware or on the exact machine should be a bit limited, and your control should be more on the platform level. So in the platform, the maybe for some of you are interested in cloud. You have heard the word like container or Docker container or Kubernetes engine. So these things are on the platform level. Docker is a container where you can put your service or your app within that container, and then you can manage a cluster of container through a service like Kubernetes or any other service. Kubernetes is the most commonly used, so that's why I have put a symbol here as well. But
Okay, first of all, thank you so much for inviting me to this discussion. And Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Let me give you a brief introduction of myself. I have done electrical telecommunication engineering from Military College of Signals NUST, and currently doing masters in electrical RF and microwave engineering from NUST. I am also serving at PTCL as an assistant business manager of GPON operations, which includes fiber to the home services. Now coming to the topic that I'll be going to discuss is the role of technology in today's world. As you all know that wireless and mobile technologies have become a very significant part of our daily lives. Especially 5G technology is the most significant topic nowadays, which has attracted researchers from all over the world. So my main objective is to design a high power antenna at X band, probably 10 gigahertz frequency, which is able to provide a high gain as well as a wider bandwidth.
Okay, so today I'll be basically speaking about my research on 5G high-speed digital front haul transport. So, digital front haul, basically a distributed unit and radio unit are basically often connected using an optical fiber, which is called front haul. So in legacy front haul, the distributed unit or DU, which was previously called baseband unit, is responsible for almost all the complex radio operations like channel estimation, Fourier transformation, forward error correction, etc. While radio resource unit or RRU is responsible for simple radio operation. But with the release of every new generation of mobile communication network, the demand of high bit rate is also increasing. And to meet the demands, fifth generation will make use of multiple antenna techniques and multiple radio access techniques. Due to this, the load on the front haul is basically increasing. So until LTE, CPRI or CPRI interface was used in front haul, which basically transmits continuous time domain in phase and quadrature quantized sample, which increases the load on the front haul. But as 5G demands even higher data rates and a lot of access points, so there is a need of efficiently using the bandwidth. by the use of newly introduced interface, which is now called eCPRI or eCPRI. So in this case, the traffic is dependent on the user load. So for eCPRI, an additional intra-physical split has been proposed to decrease the bit rate on the front haul. eCPRI basically uses 3 splits of physical layer, one for uplink and two for downlink, which is ID and IID. So basically this split ID, it carries data in the form of bits, while the split IID transfers time or frequency domain in phase and quadrature quantized sample between DU and RU. So by using these functional splits, some functionalities of DU are basically shifted towards RU. So because of the introduction of various functional splits, the load on the front haul is decreased, which basically makes eCPRI efficient and it is more flexible.
I have a very general question. On the scale of 1 to 10, where will you rank Pakistan in terms of the modern technology which is actually being used by most of the developing countries around the world?
Thank you all participants, expert panel members and coordinating team.